Welcome back to the One Voice podcast. I'm Mark Newman, your host, the founder of Foodicyn and the spearheader of this new alkaline food movement. Now, where we left off last time, I delved into how I became so sick and so unhealthy by fast-tracking my disease through the foods that I ate from the 20th century food giants and the human experience. And so what I want to delve into today is a lot of people have asked me over the years, well, Mark, what is it that you consume on a daily basis? Now, I feel very blessed because I've created a world that I am not only happy to be a part of, but I live in that world every day. See, I'm not just a talker, but I live what I preach, and it's kept me disease-free for all these years. So what I want to delve into today is to show you my morning routine. Now, just to backtrack for a second, when I understood that alkalining the body was the key to why I reversed every disease in my body, what I've learned subsequently is that alkalining the body is that pure perfection of rebirth, regeneration, of clarity, of everything that your body needs from a cellular point of view. Can we live that way for the rest of our lives? Definitely not. Do you want to live that way for the rest of your life? I don't know about you, but I don't, because I really have enjoyed the human experience. And what I've learned to understand is that as long as you give your body what it needs in abundance on a regular basis, the balance of life is found in the body being perfectly imperfect, so that when we have those imperfect moments, the body balances itself out normally. I hope that made sense to you guys. If it didn't, by all means, drop me a line and I'm happy to explain it in a little bit more detail. But so if Foodicyn and alkalining the body is the pure regenerational form, what is it that I do in my daily routine? So I am going to show you the exact movements of how I wake up to what I keep my body clean and pure with, moving on to the stuff that maybe is for my human experience and not for my human body. So ultimately, we're told to wake up with lemon water in the morning. I think I've expressed to you guys that I've created the lemon or the gold morning tonic, which is lemon, apple, banana, ginger, and dates. All I do is I shake my bag, because remember, everything that we do at Foodicyn is whole foods. So this is blended whole foods. So what it's doing is not just diluting it with water and getting the hydration for your organs, but it's also got the fiber in there. And when you put fiber into anything, it starts to feed your good gut bacteria, and the body says to the brain, I got this is all good. And that way, that's how you start the day off right, and you get really a boost of energy. So shake up your bag. There are 4 portions in one of these bags. You know, I make it, so I sometimes make it a little bit sweeter, a little bit stronger, etc. And that becomes literally the first thing I put into my body every single day. Now, I put it in a container with a little bit of ice, and I get in my car and I start my drive to my kitchen. It takes me about half an hour to get there. By the time I get there, that is complete. I don't feel hungry for a good couple of hours afterwards. Now, remember, I'm getting into making my own my own products. So then the next step would be for me to be around all my fruits and veggies and nuts and seeds and greens, creating the product that is the green and the red energy cocktail. So the next step is when I feel hungry, I grab either my green or my red energy cocktail. These bags are super easy. Again, if you live in Toronto in the GTA area, I can deliver these. But if you're looking at getting into the school of Foodicyn and creating this on your own, you won't need the bags. You'll just create whatever formula you wanted for that morning, and you'll get on with your day. But generally, you would have a full bag as your meal alternative. Now, I don't say a replacement, because you're not replacing it with anything. You found an alternative to your 20th century food, which is not even nutrition. You know, when you talk about Kellogg's being invented he was a physician and a nutritionist, and he was the guy that coined the breakfast term back in the early 1900s. And from there became cornflakes. He developed cornflakes. And that's when the breakfast idea came to light. And if some man can create an idea and an ideology in society that has lasted for 100+ years, and we know now is poisoning our system, poisoning our human species, surely somebody should be brave enough to make a difference. And so this is not a meal replacement, it's a meal alternative to changing your lifestyle. And so what I do is I'll either have a glass of it while I'm blending it, knock it back, and I make sure that I have at least 2 full cups before I leave my kitchen. So that way, generally I've had half a bag of my green or I've had half a bag of my red, and it really doesn't matter which one. They both have amazing flavors, amazing tastes, but that keeps me, I guess, satisfied for a good few more hours. Now, whether it's 2 hours or 4 hours, it just depends on how busy I am or how much of it I had. If I had a half a bag or an 8-ounce glass, it's going to keep me going for a couple of hours. If I had the full one, I'm not even thinking about food. I'm not even thinking about my gut for at least 3 to 4 hours. And so, as you can see, now my morning has taken up of my nourishment is the gold and then a bag of the red or green. And I've got like 3 or 4 hours of time under my belt, and I carry on with my day. Now, whether I'm busy or not, it's irrelevant. I just carry on with my day. If I've got deliveries to do, if I've got phone calls to make, if I've got cold calling to do, it doesn't matter. I know I'm not looking for that next craving. I don't have cravings. So I know that my body is being taken care of. So before I've even left my kitchen, I've had about 20 different ingredients of life-giving elements in my body. Next, we move on to the nutty protein porridge, which to me is, the further I go down my journey and the understanding is this red, yellow, and green is the liquid form, even though there's fiber in it, but it's really about your gut health and your blood health. And so I'm making sure that my gut and my blood is looking really good. But when you delve into the nutty protein porridge, oh my gosh, it is a superpower. It is a multivitamin, a multi-nutrient powerhouse that has 50% of your magnesium. It's got iron, it's got calcium, it's got, I guess, 11 different minerals. It's got 13 different vitamins in it. And it's just, when you look at the fiber, you're looking at 57% of your daily fiber. So by having a portion of the nutty protein porridge, whether it's on its own in hot water to activate it, or if it's on a fruit salad or something, doesn't matter. I make sure that I get my portion of nuts every single day. And that really keeps my body and my muscles going and really strong. So at that point in time, I've had more variety of nutrients in my body than most people have in a week. I just posted something in my newsletter about the Science and Nutrition about the gut health, stating that you should have 30 whole food ingredients in your diet every week. Well, with Foodicyn, and why it works so quickly is that we are getting a minimum of 32, if not more, life-giving ingredients every single day. And when you repeat that, that is where your health lies. And so that's really the crux of Foodicyn. So that's great, Mark. Okay, you've shown me your breakfast, your kind of lunch snack area. So what do you do for the rest of the day? Well, when I first started my journey, remember what I said, I was really sick and really unhealthy. And I found that purity was where I could lie. It's the only place that I belonged, which was what else can I consume with this that's going to keep my body functioning at a high level. It's going to give me something to chew. It's going to give me that mastication kind of feeling that you want to bite down on something, because this is really the drinkable components. So I started filling my gut with very simple, easy to digest, low GI foods, high alkaline foods if I could find them. And in there I found the next step of keeping that nourishing moment going, not just consuming in the breakfast and the lunch component, but what do you do for the evenings? Now, we come from an environment where we eat dinners like a king. In fact, we should eat dinners like a pauper, because we're going to go to bed very soon afterwards. And when we eat like a king, we got 8 to 12 hours of digestion still to take place in our body. A lot of us go to bed on a full stomach. That body is very acidic. Acid rolls up. We wake up. We got reflux. We got pain in our kidneys because the food hasn't been digested. So if we start changing our lifestyle and we start using alternative ways of nourishing our body, we start to realize that it is really the nourishment of the foods that we eat that keeps our body functioning, and it's not necessarily that nourishment of the tongue and the mouth, of that flavor sensation. So what I found on that was, again, really simple ideas. So this doesn't follow a vegan or a vegetarian or a carnivore anything. This is simply about how can you get to the purity of nutrition without ever feeling hungry throughout the day, knowing that you can reverse disease in your body. So I went for the brown rice. Now, there are different ideas out there about whether rice is good, rice is bad. Rice has been around for thousands of years. Man has lived on it. Man has survived on it. Cook it in the 30-minute section where you've got, a few days portion of rice in your fridge. So whenever you feel like I'm feeling that emptiness in my belly, you get a few spoons or a few scoops of rice. You put a bit of olive oil on there or sesame oil with a bit of salt and pepper, and you've got yourself a really quick, nourishing snack. Another great product I have is just eggs. You can have them hard-boiled. You can have them hard-boiled in the fridge. So when you feel like that protein that's going to keep you nourished and satisfied for a little while longer, you crack into a couple of the eggs. If you want to start doing your own eggs and cooking them at home, I don't subscribe to the dairy aspect of life at this point in time. If it's something that you want to do on your own, by all means, do your research, figure it out. But what we do at Foodicyn is we substitute coconut oil for all butters. It's a really awesome product. Yes, if you don't like the flavor of coconut, find an alternative, but nothing like this fake butters that are on there. And I'd prefer you use proper butter. If you're not going to use coconut oil, at least it's of natural source, and at least it's got that cellular structure. So fry some scrambled eggs or fried eggs, etc. in there. A great bread alternative are these rice cakes. Make sure you check the back of the label. I'm not very much into buying processed or ultra-processed foods, but when you look at the back label and it says brown rice or puffed brown rice, it's pretty much okay. If it says brown rice with sea salt, you've also got an okay product. When you start getting into the flavors, put it back, because those flavors are synthetic and there's nothing real about it. This is a great alternative to bread. You can put avocado on there, tomato, make yourself a little sandwich, make yourself 3 little open-faced sandwiches or whatever it might be. Put a fried egg on there. Find ways to become creative with the simplicities of what else is going to keep your body really pure and honest. Chickpeas is a great filler as well as an alkaline legume. It is the only legume that is alkaline, and I would highly recommend that you spend a little bit of extra money on the organic, because the non-organic chickpea has one of the highest counts of glyphosate, and glyphosate is, they've been sued for billions of dollars because it's poisoning humanity. So stick with organic, especially when it comes to chickpeas, when it comes to corn, etc. And then, there's a few other items. Himalayan salt, pink salt is a great one. Another one is just regular sea salt or Celtic salt is great as well. Black pepper, any sort of natural spices to flavor up these simple foods. But in those spices lie extra minerals, the micronutrients. So as I put 14 ingredients in here and 15 ingredients in here, when you're doing your rice, don't just make your rice. Put an olive oil, put salt, put sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, things that are going to nourish your body and with every mouthful. And so in this little section of ingredients, I was able to reverse every disease in my body in a very short period of time. I want to switch gears to how I live my life today, because I think that's really a big question of a lot of my clients. They're like, okay, so we've done the month program and we've cleaned our bodies and we've lived, we've introduced small things into our life each week so that we can understand how to take control of our life. But Mark, come on, there's got to be a bit of a balance. And Mark, come on, you really can't be pure all the time. And I will be the first to admit, and I think in one of the earlier podcasts, Mike caught me on camera saying, how I used to live. I still am a food addict today. I think once you're an addict in anything, you're always an addict. It depends on how you can control it, right? An alcoholic is always an alcoholic, even if they don't have alcohol anymore. But as soon as they do, it brings things back on again. And so in the food world, it works exactly the same way. But here's the difference. Maybe not, I don't know. Drugs and alcohol kills the body much quicker than the sugars and the ultra-processed foods. And we know that because man is living a lot longer on ultra-processed foods and unhealthier than somebody who's an alcoholic or a drug addict. And we know that. So the process might be quicker in the drugs and alcohol range, but it's still poison on the body. But going back to the idea of perfectly imperfect, I love food. I got so sick because of the food that I loved. But I still am only on this earth once and only. And I'm so blessed that I live in this time, in this space, through all the craziness, because through all the craziness, we have experienced things with our mouth, with our senses, with everything that no human being on the planet of this earth has ever experienced before. With that comes the negative, of course. But why I have developed what I've developed and why I speak the way I do about the importance of alkaline in the body is because only when you know where pure perfection lies within the human body in its simplest form, can you find that balanced life that you're looking for. And so every day, I still to this day might not follow this part of my journey, but every day for the last 15 years, I follow this part of my journey. So that by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, all I've had are these 32 life-giving ingredients with water in between. And so if I choose to go for a hamburger and French fries, I don't ever feel guilty and I don't ever deny myself. And I make sure that I make the better choice. You'll never see me in one of these big conglomerations. You'll see me at some independently owned and run where they mince their own meat, where they know where the cow comes from, where they take their own French fries. And so I don't deny myself that journey, and neither should you, especially with the foods that you love. Because, hey, part of stress is denial. And I don't want you to be stressed. I want you to know that you can have what you want as long as you understand where perfection lies and imperfection lies. And then you can live on a scale that's far easier to manage than if you never knew where perfection lay and you're living in a scale of dis-ease and disorder and discomfort. So I hope in this instance I've clarified my journey, which is a journey that I want you to go on as my human species brother and sister, because I had this family the other day come to my shop up in the 400 markets. There were 6 of them, and 3 of them actually decided of different age ranges to consume the program. They bought into the platform. And I said to them at one stage, I said, if you were all lions, would you not all eat the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Not that there would ever be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but would you not all eat the same? And they all looked at me kind of like eye-opener, like, yeah, we would. I said, well, that's what I want to do. I want you, no matter what age you are, to know that we are a species and we deserve and we desire an abundance of nutrition from Mother Nature's garden. And when we give that to ourselves, we should never be able to deny ourselves the things that we have grown to love, as long as we find that balance. So I'm Mark Newman, hoping to see you on the other side of your health and wellness dreams, and may you find that balance that you so desire and so deserve and thrive for the rest of your lives. We'll see you guys in the next episode.